Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Generation of Change. I'm Melanie.
I'm Jalen.
I'm Kenesha.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Nayad. So guys, are you guys going back to campus in the fall?
Thank God. Yes.
I think we are too at UV, but...
They are. They sent out an email.
Oh, okay. That's
They're doing this weird thing though where it's like half online and half on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I know after Thanksgiving, we're staying all the way until spring semester starts.
staying home.
Yeah, so basically our semester ends at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, us too. The last 3 weeks are online, they said.
And they said we have to be 6 feet apart from everybody on campus.
I cannot promise that.
But that's what the the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools are doing at her too. And they have to stay in one classroom for the whole day. So it's gonna be like elementary school. And all their desks are 6 feet apart, and they have lunch in there. All their classes are in one class.
No, I couldn't do it.
No.
I know for the school schedule for at UA, they're extending it through Monday through Sunday, so people are gonna have classes on Saturday and Sunday, so they can make the class sizes smaller.
They did that at UV too.
I won't be showing up.
At UV, they're having Saturday classes this year.
Yeah, I won't be showing up.
Yeah, you have a Saturday lab. Don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 classes on Saturday.
I heard that everybody's schedule isn't guaranteed anymore because there's changing around. They're probably gonna have different rooms and everything.
I got that about my seminar. They said that it's most likely gonna be online now. So.
If my classes are online, I will be in Chicago.
Ah.
I will be, because if everything's online, I'll pack my things and move for a semester and live with my brother in Chicago and see what happens.
Wait, aren't you
And
auditioning for The
see what
Voice?
happens.
What, Melanie?
Aren't you auditioning for The Voice?
Yeah, next Friday.
Period.
Yes,
How do we watch it? Is it gonna be on TV?
I'm not sure because it's an open, it's virtual. Yeah, so I have to record. It's I have a minute and 30 seconds to record myself and then send it in, and then they let us know. I think within a week whether we go on or not.
If it's like that, maybe I should audition.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you have to pay to audition?
No.
Oh, because I was about to say.
Wow.
We should plug this. Plug our podcast when you're famous.
Please.
Okay, guys.
I haven't even picked out a song.
What? Isn't it next week?
Wait, you haven't picked out a song?
I have a list of songs that I know already, but it's which one do I want to sing? It's all a matter of what shows off my voice the best. But I'm tired of talking about me now. Let's get into the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the movie Get Out, which is directed and written by Jordan Peele, none of the other. We talked about him in the last podcast too by the end of it. So, Julian's going to say a short summary about the movie.
Alright, Get Out. Now that Chris and his girlfriend Rose have reached the meet the parents milestone of dating, she invites him for a weekend getaway upstate with Missy and Dean. At first, Chris reads the family's overly accommodating behavior as nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's interracial relationship. But as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries lead him to a truth that he could never imagined. And that barely scratches the surface of this movie.
Spoiler alert. So.
Yeah, spoilers are out, guys.
But I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this movie though.
No.
No.
Really?
I was surprised.
No.
Yeah.
There's surprisingly a lot of people who have not.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I heard it made them uncomfortable because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the thing. I think we see, as Black people and just minorities in general, we see white movies all the time. I feel like white people are scared, not they're hesitant to see a movie with all Black cast, all Asian cast, crazy.
They feel
especially because
Black.
of the content.
Yeah, or not even the content. I just think that they're I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? The same reason why Black YouTubers are not as big as white YouTubers, because white people don't watch the Black ones. Only Black people watch it. You know what I'm saying? They don't think they can relate. So that's why I think that a lot of people haven't seen it. A lot of the other side.
I don't know, because I went sprinting to the movie theater when it dropped.
Me too. I saw it opening weekend.
So good. It's
Like-
so good.
Like when Jordan, like I remember Jordan Peele said, he was like, this is the movie for every time a black person screamed at the screen at a horror movie. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great movie. If he's describing it as like everything that we scream he does, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll see this.
Oh my god.
Let's get into it. So in the first scene, a person gets kidnapped in the beginning is Andre and is taken by Rose's brother. And Rose is the girlfriend of Chris. So the two main characters of the movie.
Played by Allison Williams, which I can't watch her anything else now.
Mm-mm. She played it
Wasn't she
too
in
well.
that movie Perfection or something like that? Remember you watched it?
Yeah,
The one with
Logan Brown.
Logan Browning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan Brown.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
That was really good.
Stuck
It's
in my
on Netflix.
mind. I thought I was on drugs when I watched it.
Honestly.
What movie is it?
The Perfection. It's on
It's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the?
She's
Is that
a
the one like a
violent-
horror movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the actress she's from the main actress is from Dear White People.
Yeah, that okay. Now I know what you're talking about. The movie, that trailer freaked me out. I haven't watched it yet though.
Yeah, I watch it.
It's really good.
Like we watched it without knowing what it was about, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
The plot twist is like you will not expect it. We were trying to plot the whole time and we were dead wrong until like the very end.
It was crazy. You should watch it. Okay. Anyway,
Oh yeah,
so
but like in the beginning, like we don't find out till later in the movie, but like the beginning scene takes place 6 months prior to like the story with Chris and Rose. Cause like there's like later on in the movie, Rod's looking it up and it's like he's on like Bing because they can't get the Google license, and he's like he looks it up and it's like Andre's been missing like for 6 months and they stopped the search for him, and that's when they start realizing something's up.
And he shows up later. I didn't know, well, obviously you're not going to know the first time watching it, but the brother is the one that kidnapped him.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you don't find out till the end, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't realize like they give you like one clue though was when they're having dinner with each
Yeah.
other. He does the chokehold, and that's what he did to Andre when he kidnapped him. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
didn't even pick up on that.
But
So
yeah.
wait, I'm really excited to talk about the second one though. I feel like it was a really
Okay,
big
you
thing
want to
they were talking about on Twitter this week.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, you could start
Yeah,
with
yeah. So it's the meaning behind using Redbone by Childish Gambino. The thing that I've been seeing like on Twitter, which is kind of ironic, is that him using it is just weird because him using the term itself, Redbone, like even though it's become part of like African American vernacular, like to describe somebody like using Redbone, it was already used as like terms to describe them during like the slave trade time, or like a mulatto or like stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw that too on Twitter, I think.
And he doesn't even date black girls, so
No, you can't do this to him.
I'm
Not
sorry.
him. Not
no
him.
disrespect to him. No disrespect to him. No disrespect to him.
Sound Glover.
No disrespect to him.
But he always talks about it in his music, so he acknowledges it. At least he's self-aware. At least he's that much.
And I think that now that you said that, Kenisha, they use. Okay, I'm probably slow, but I'm like, oh, they probably use it because Chris and like to foreshadow an interest in the inspirational relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Did we talk about the lyrics? Like the actual lyrics of the song?
Oh yeah.
You have them.
Do I have them? I know them by heart.
Wow.
But it's like I want to say the only like part he used of the song was the second chorus, like the second verse in the actual like chorus. Whereas like stay woke, they creeping and they gonna find you. It's like pretty much it's like foreshadows the whole movie. It's like you have to like stay woke the entire time, like never let your guard down. But like the second verse, it's like it's talking about Gambino's talking about let me see if I can find it. It's like him and his girlfriend are like getting along anymore. Where is it? Oh yeah, like you want to make it right, but it's too late. And it's like, and then he says like my peanut butter chocolate cake with Kool-Aid, which is basically saying they don't mix anymore because like peanut butter chocolate cake and Kool-Aid don't mix. So it's like him and his girlfriend don't mix anymore, and that's also like I feel like that was also foreshadowing on Jordan Peele's part. Like later on, it's like yeah, you're gonna find out. It's not gonna work out the way you think it's gonna work out.
That's really insightful.
Oh, Rose is crazy. Like even when I didn't pick it up like the first time I watched it, but like when I rewatched it this past week, I was like, who the fuck knocks on the door with their head?
That was like she had a bag in her hand, like you could have just used your knuckles, and I was like,
or like
her head on the
kicked
door.
it.
I mean, maybe they were trying to make her seem like quirky and.
No, they definitely were.
She's crazy.
Like she's just doing too much. Like she's carrying all these things, juggling, trying to manipulate this man and like her family and this business that they have, putting white people's brains in black people's bodies. Like she's just doing a lot. And maybe banging the head was like they fuck with brains. I don't know.
I'm so quirky.
It's like same thing. It's like crackhead energy.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a meaning behind her name too. I don't know though, because like if like you think about a rose, like it's pretty, like when you look at it, but like
it also has thorns.
Wow.
That's
wow.
deep. That's deep.
Wow, you're up here.
Well, you gotta do something.
You're up here.
I don't know though, cause she's crazy.
You
Yeah,
are
no,
up
I
here,
think
up here with it. We're here, but you're like here.
Maybe. All right. So after, like, she goes into his house, they talk about Chris meeting her parents, and then he asks if they know that he's black. So, start with that.
I feel like that was weird because, like, wouldn't that, if you're at the meet the parent stage, wouldn't that be one of those factors they would, like, you know, no.
Like, and they've been dating like for 4 months.
Yeah, like.
I know, like, didn't they see like pictures of them together at least?
No, I mean, because they're both they don't live with their parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe she was, I don't know. I think that was a valid question.
Yeah, it's a very real thing that happens.
That's so weird.
But then they did know. They already knew, because she's crazy.
They knew because they knew what she was going to do. Like.
Oh my God.
Lazy.
Oh my God, this movie stressed me out.
Well, like the first 5 minutes.
It stressed me out even more when I'm like looking back at what I was missing. It's like,
yeah.
God.
Picking up on the little things that
they really just be trying to get out. Can I get out? Get out.
And I heard that because you know how his first movie is Get Out, his second movie is
yeah.
So they're like Get Out US.
Oh my God, she always says that. She always says that. Okay, how about Candyman?
Okay, but he didn't direct it, so it's different.
Get Out US Candyman. US is the Candyman?
Oh my God.
Well, technically, Naya's right. He did it. He's producing Candyman. He's not directing it.
Wait for his next one. It'll be like now. The movie will be like now.
It's too late.
I feel like he's doing something like when they did with like with Split and Glass. It was like the first movie was the first one was Unbreakable, second one was Split, and the last one was Glass. Like you put it all together and like makes a long title.
Okay, Navi, maybe you're right. Alright, so Chris mentions that he doesn't want to be chased off of Rose's lawn when they go meet her parents with a shotgun because he's black, and that they don't want him there. But then later on, we see that he does get chased off the lawn by Rose, and it's because they want him there. So
I feel like if I ever had like the fear of that, I would end the relationship. I would end the relationship. I'm scared I'm going to die at your parents' house. I'm not going to your parents' house.
But I think it was like more of like a comedic relief, but it's like in bad taste.
But then if you really look at a broader sense, at first, white people didn't want black people. I guess they still don't want black people. But then black people came up, they started showing their culture, embracing it, and all of a sudden white people want to take that in, culturally appropriate, and then they don't let black people claim it. They make it their own thing.
They just love stealing stuff.
And I'm like, not to go too forward, but like one of the main things, like, as my first time watching it, like when she was like, oh, like when they were like talking about, you know, oh, is he this, and this, and they're like, oh, black is so in right now. Oh, black is so athletic. Oh, it's like, whoa, you know, like they just really want to be black, but they don't want to be black.
Right.
Yes. And like, I hate. Oh, sorry, Mom. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
She was like, after he said the shotgun thing, I don't mean to like skip ahead, but like, I hate when white people like, try to use this excuse. I voted for Obama. I would have voted for him. Like, that does not mean you're not racist.
My mom voted for Obama like twice.
Like, that doesn't.
My neighbor was black, and I loved it.
Oh
it's
my
God. It's the equivalent to saying I have a black friend.
My
like,
dog
us.
is black.
I posted on Blackout Tuesday. I can't be racist.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on Blackout Tuesday, no.
The people that posted a black square, then right after that posted a beach picture.
For real.
I can't do it.
Like, they didn't understand at all.
My boyfriend's black. Okay.
Alright, so after that whole scene with them talking about Chris meeting her parents, they start to make the drive down, and then while they're talking, a deer runs in front of their car. And do you guys think that the deer is significant at all in the movie?
Yes, to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a very like loose tie, but it wasn't really significant as to the specifics of what happening, as to what was going to happen, but more that like he was in danger.
Yeah, I saw like after I watched the movie, I like, you know, the YouTube like theories and stuff. This is the first time I watched it, and they were saying how like the deers are like hunted, you know, like mainly white. You know, there's obviously black people who hunt, but like mainly white people hunt. So it's like deers are hunted by, you know, they're hunted. So then it like was like symbolic of Chris is about to become the hunted, and he felt like connected with it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Because when he's in the basement and he's first waking up, like he looks to the left and the right of him and behind him, there's games all around him. Like there's foosball, darts, bocce, and then when he looks forward though, there's just the deer head, that deer head. So you're like thinking, oh, like now he's in the game. He's part of their game. He's in the game room.
Oh wow!
Wow. Wow, Mo.
I mean, honestly, if I had to walk in an area and there was a deer head on the, you know, seal, that's a good symbol for me to walk out.
Yeah.
Very visibly uncomfortable.
I think it was in Reynolds in class when like we read that thing about the game, and it's about hunting.
Yeah.
Oh, hunting humans.
Yeah. So just like, oh, people call hunting game. You go Yeah, something like
Mm-hmm. And I never thought, Jalen, when you put it in the notes and talking about like how his mom I never even put together like his mom was in a hit and run. So
yeah.
That's
Yes.
how I interpreted it.
Huh?
That's how I interpreted it. Like he sympathized for the deer when he got hit, so he went over and looked at it. And then at the end, when he ran over the grandma, the housemaid lady, he went back and brought her in his car because he always sympathizes with them because his mom was in a hit and run.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was more to further along the plot rather than be like a racial statement.
What else happened? Did I not type these in order?
You did. We're just going all over the place, I think.
Sorry, yeah.
No, because I'm looking and I went like, there's okay, now I found where we are. The drive up scene. But I always thought of it like the deer was like a sign because like everything literally goes downhill once he hits once the deer is hit, everything literally goes downhill from there.
Like hitting a deer is bad luck. Like that's a bad omen. And then from there it's just downhill, yeah.
Yeah. And then after he hit the deer and then the police came and she was like, da-da-da. And like at first everyone was like, yeah, white girl, go ahead. Like, you know, don't let the police
Oh my
abuse
God,
him.
yes.
You know, I was at the theater, they're like, don't let the police abuse him. But then, like, you find out it's like,
Yeah, white girl.
she didn't want a paper trail because, like, you know, then the police would be like, oh, he was here. Now we know da-da-da. So,
Oh, yeah.
and he was like, wow, that was so hot. Thank you. Like, when she came back in the car. And it was like, dang, like that wasn't even her real intention.
Oh, speaking of Rose, did anybody else notice that like she had no emotional like reaction to the deer?
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
Cause like go ahead, Mel.
She was just like detached from the situation. She's just like, okay.
Yeah, cause like the second time I watched it, I was like, first he's frozen by the deer when he sees it, and then like he's still like thinking about it like once the cop shows up. So like he's like the deer's been on his mind for a while. And like in that entire like segment of the movie, Rose says nothing about the deer. And like she shows no emotion. And like it's not even like it's even normal for you, like you're not sad about it, but like you feel bad, like, oh, I just like the animals.
If I hit a deer, I probably would cry myself to sleep.
I think traumatized with hitting deer.
I almost hit one and I cried all the way home.
Like going by roadkill already, I'm like, oh my God.
Like I feel horrible. It's like, oh, it's like, that raccoon didn't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like white people hunt. That's a sport for them. Deers die all the time. Because when they went back and told their dad about it, their dad was like, good riddance. I feel like, I mean, you guys did a good thing. So I'm like, deer equals black people? Like,
me equals scared?
No, speaking of that, that's the next topic. Next thing on the list.
Oh, when he's talking to the dad.
Yeah, I have the quote pulled up too. Where is it?
Alright.
Oh yeah, like the dad Dean, he was like, you know what I say? I say one down, a couple 100,000 to go. Like, I don't mean to get on my high horse, but I'm telling you, I do not like the deer. I'm sick of it. They're taking over. They're like rats. They're destroying the ecosystem. I see a dead deer on the side of the road, and I think that's a start. And then I like reread that quote, and I put in like black people, and I was like, yo.
For real.
That's all you have to do.
Change ecosystem to like neighborhood, country, anything.
Yeah, like you just switch a few words around. It's like, that's crazy.
That's how they really feel. Well, not they, but you know, the characters.
You could even say like white people hunting deer is like cops hunting black people.
Yeah.
Did they say where Rose's brother was before he came home? Or like?
I don't think so. I don't know. They just said he was out.
Oh, out hunting.
Yeah, didn't they? No, I think never mind. He played lacrosse. I was gonna say, didn't they say he's a hunter or something?
Maybe
Like, he looks like he's mad old.
Honestly, with that lacrosse stick, look like he peaked.
Like he looked
a
mad
long time ago.
Like he looked like he was like about to be 40 years old. But then again, I don't know how they age. So
he's supposed to be the he's supposed to be the younger brother. So it was weird that he was older than Rose.
What?
Yeah, because Rose called him baby brother in the movie at one point.
Oh, that means
he was supposed to be the younger
17.
brother.
No, he's not 17.
No, I heard racist age bad. No, I just heard racism.
Benjamin Button.
Said racist age bad. No, but everybody in that movie played their role so well, like it was scary. Like they're so comfortable to be racist. It's weird.
It do be like that.
Dude, I felt
It
bad.
It really do be like that, especially in the the not political but social climate, and you see everybody's true colors. It really do be like that, unfortunately.
So, Dean says, the dad says to Chris that it's such a privilege to experience another person's culture. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Not really.
What do you think?
Love Black culture.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to connect it is like it's a privilege to experience the culture, but then like when you don't pay attention to like the plights and like the dehumanization that goes on, yeah, that's a part of the white privilege, I guess, that goes on, because you can love the culture, you can love rap music, and you can love country music. That's the real tea. But you can love all that, you can love watching the NBA, all that, but if you can love all that and be silent on the matters that are at hand, that's a part of privilege.
Like, I think to go along with that, Kenisha, like a lot of people are like the biggest cultural appropriation like thing, but like the biggest debate is like hair. Like, oh, why can't I wear braids or whatever? Well, first of all, you guys didn't know what box braids were, so like like you guys know it from like. But that's a different like topic, but that's a different conversation. But like the thing is, it's not that you can't wear, like it's not that we're mad that, oh, look at you guys, like we're mad because when you wear it, you are pretty, you get the job, you get the this. And New York City is the only place in the whole country where you can't be discriminated on again for your hair. Like, that's why we're mad. Like, when we do it, it's ugly, it's ghetto, it's ratchet, it's da-da-da. But then when you do it, it's a fashion statement. Oh my gosh, look at Kim K with the,
even when you Google photos, like professional haircut, I'm professional. Like all white man. All white men.
I can't do that with this.
Yes, for real.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. Yeah, but I feel like that's a good connection to like especially what's going on right now, considering how it's not a trend, but you can't escape it. And if you're acting like you can't escape it or you can't ignore it, you're blatantly being ignorant.
Like when people are like, oh, I need to take a break from social media, it's so negative right now. And it's like, what's the negative part of all the Black Lives Matter stuff? Like, that's our daily life, you know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but have you seen it's like allyship fatigue?
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
Like, I saw it on Twitter this morning, and I was like, "No, this can't be real." Like, you're tired. You get tired of being
like, how are you burnt out? When all this is like not over, but like not. They find a way to cover it up with something else. I'm still out here, and we've still been out here since like 2013 at the earliest.
Celebrate Juneteenth, everybody.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh yeah, UB said that no classes will be held on Juneteenth now.
I wasn't going to any classes anyway.
And we get paid. New York State says everybody It's a paid holiday. Yeah.
Cuomo.
Yeah, shout out to Cuomo.
New York and Virginia.
Love that man.
My favorite video of Cuomo was he was like, "I'm with the protesters." Next, I was like, "This is my favorite video of him."
Love that man. I'm gonna put a poster of him in my room just to show that. Yeah. And me being at Albany, I'm gonna meet him.
Wait, he's gonna go to Albany?
Hmm?
He's gonna go to your school in Albany?
No, that's where the.
No, that's the capital.
Oh, I thought you said he's gonna go and talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna write him a letter. A love letter.
A love letter.
Yeah. I hurt you.
It's Kanisha starring in Get Out too, everybody.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I would hope not.
Okay, we're going off topic now.
Yeah.
So, while they're on the house tour, Dean's father lost to Jesse Owens in front of Hitler, proving that the Aryan race ideology was flawed. And then he mentions that his dad was almost got over it.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure in the video when Jalen was like, "Is that the start of the lobotomies experiments?" I'm pretty sure like that video, that like 1950s-esque video that they made Chris watched when they like tied him up. I'm pretty sure they said that their grandpa started it. Either the grandpa or the great grandpa, one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that he did start it because Jesse Owens. Like he lost Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
As expected.
But like I was thinking about it, if it goes by like that many generations, and we've only seen Andre, and then now Chris is there, and Rose has had so many people like at the house. Like, how many people didn't make it? That's crazy.
It's like not even that.
You think they died?
I think they died.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that's always not successful. Like the cause they didn't perfect it until when that video was made. But that video is like, that has to be like from this like 80s, because I'm pretty sure like Rose and like Jeremy, they're not much older than like 30.
Yeah.
Like, they can't be more than 30. And then like, because they were in the video because they were kids, like, and they weren't even like little. They were like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why they use that TV. That's the old TV. Even when the other guy was video chatting him, waiting for him in the other.
That's gonna get scary.
I think it just reminded me of like 50s, so I think it was supposed to like represent or show like the good times, you know. They like to call it the good times when nobody had rights except them. So like that's because, you know, like the white picket fence and sweater vest, you know, like it just looked like it could have been you know, obviously it had to be like the 80s or, you know, or late 80s, early 90s, whatever. But I feel like it just was like very 50s, 60s-esque. So I think that, like, you know, it's like the good times.
I feel like it was weird that he even mentioned that in front of Chris. Like, that would have been like, you know, like, oh my God, I need to leave. I need to
For
leave.
real.
I think it like went over heads. Like he almost like someone was like, he almost got over. I was like, okay, so like he was mad when he died. You know, I'm not thinking he wants revenge.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
And it's your first time meeting them.
Yeah.
That seems like something that's embarrassing. Like if you're like if your father was like pissed about it, I don't think you want to share that information. Like, yeah, he lost to Jesse Owens. Like, I don't think that's something to be proud of. Like, it's like, I guess because like it's Jesse Owens, but I was like, still, it's like you're like parading your failure around.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Confederate flag.
Wait. Wow, you went
For real? They lost.
Oh wow.
Yo,
wow.
The Confederacy was only around for 5 years. That's the crazy part. I don't think they
Just
know
get
that.
over it. Just get over it.
It's
so long now. Just
like,
get
we've
over
been
it.
the Union more than they've been the Confederacy. Like, what?
And to me, it doesn't even make sense that they're like, it's American heritage. Like, you know, that's the traitor flag. Like, you know that flag's not American.
That's like the least American thing.
Like, they fought the Americans. Like,
like it's called the American Civil War for a reason.
I don't really understand. I honestly don't. They're like, I don't fly this because I'm racist. I just love country living.
It wasn't about slavery. It was about state rights. Like,
you're not even
state rights to own slaves. Like, what are you talking about?
or you're not even from the South and you fly the flag, like
For real.
Weird.
You know
Why
New
are you in
York?
Caledonia
You know New
flying the
York did it,
flag? You're in
right?
upstate New York.
yeah, like Ohio it did it,
Why are you in
Indiana,
LA, New York, flying the Confederate flag?
why are you above Virginia flying like
You weren't even a part of the Confederacy,
you weren't like
even if you wanted to be.
It's just their excuse to be racist. They just don't wanna say it.
but it's just if I see one I'm just go the other way, like
Honestly,
Like, I
every
think
year,
the
4th of
Confederate flag
July, you see him at the Chili Fest.
no, I think this Confederate flag is like one of the most scary things. Like
It
if
is.
I see one, I'm like hell, like no.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy how they like
With cornfields too, together. Together. Oh my god!
Confederate flag with a cornfield.
Yeah, I went out into like Albion to go pick something up, and I drove through like a cornfield, and I was like, my ancestors, I feel their distaste.
Oh my god.
here. I feel that.
You felt their energy.
I was like, yeah. I was like, these people probably have never even seen a black person in their life. Never mind one that can drive.
You know what?
It doesn't even.
No, explain that. What?
Because I was at the time I was driving an Audi, so probably. And then on top of that, like there was like a line of like 4 pickup trucks behind me, and they were like turning everywhere I go. So I was like,
hell no.
"This is like their militia." I was like, "How do police
Ford
even get out
F-150
here?"
Army.
Yes. I was like, "How do police even get out here?" Because there's so much like land. I'm like, they probably have like slaves.
It's yeehaw land.
Yeah, they probably have like come up on horses and stuff. I don't even know. You're far when like the signs start changing designs and stuff.
And the road is just dirt.
Yeah, never again.
No, I remember we were visiting family in Alabama, and like they own like a bunch of land, but it's like out in the middle of nowhere with like dirt fields and like just fields and fields. And I'm like, yo, bro, like if something were to happen, nobody would know. Like,
And
there's no
a good chance,
communication.
no, but there's a good chance things have happened.
Yeah.
Scary.
Like that one girl, I feel bad, I don't know her name, but the one she was murdered at the sleepover, alleged she killed herself or she fell off the balcony. Yeah, with 7 white people. That was the same county like Oprah went to in like the 90s or something. And there was not that single black person hasn't lived there in like 100-something years. And they were like, we don't want the blacks.
Oh, I don't want to be there either. Sorry.
I know. We don't want to be there.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then that's the same county that the girl she was murdered, but allegedly she fell off the balcony.
I think her name was Tamala Horsford. That's her name.
Alright.
But every episode we gotta shout out Joshua McFadden because recently he went to Atlanta and he went to a sundown county in Georgia for like photography.
Wow.
So that man is stronger than I'll ever be. He even step foot.
A sundown. Whoa.
I forgot what county it was, but me and Marcus were talking, and then Josh was on FaceTime, and he was like, "Yeah, they got me at like a sundown county in Georgia, and like for photography." And I'm like, "Yo, what?
Like no.
No money is worth me going to a sundown town."
First of all, the
county.
fact that they even exist still.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't even know this existed.
No, there's a lot actually. There is
Texas,
a,
like
In
Bitter, Texas is one.
Vader, Texas, yeah, Forsyth County, Georgia.
I think that's where he went. He went to Forsyth. They had him go down to Forsyth for
Forsyth, that's the girl.
By himself?
That's the girl.
Yeah, he travels by himself.
Yeah, heck no.
No.
Joshua Rashad McFadden.
Anyways, shout out to him though. Yeah, no, he was down there that first day in Minnesota. He was in Minnesota.
And he was in Georgia. He wasn't there. I think he was there the day the police killed Rashad Brooks. Is that his name?
Rashad, yeah.
That he was there the day because he was there for something else, for a different project, and then it happened, and then the riots happened that same night, and he was down there like for because he stopped the job he was doing, and he just went down to photograph everything and document what was going on.
Okay, let's get back on topic. We're not gonna be able to finish this. So, Dean says to Chris that they had to seal up the basement. So that's why he doesn't bring him down there during the tour, because there's some black mold down there.
Yeah, I'm about to put you on. They used the black people's bodies as mold for the white people's brains. Black mold. Yo, think about it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, you guys keep elevating me. Like, thank you.
Be like, wow.
But like
Not like
their basement though, it looks huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that basement's a whole separate house, underground.
And we don't even know where it started, like the way to get down there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looked like they lived on a plantation.
Yeah. I would get lost. It's fucking-
ancestors. Mad.
So then we're introduced to Georgina, which is one of the housemaids there, and she's in the kitchen. But then we later find out it's the grandma. Spoiler alert.
And then didn't they say something like, "Do we keep the grandma in here, or like we keep a piece of her with us, or something like that?"
Yeah.
But she's in Georgina.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Georgina.
I know.
She was there still.
Why do you guys think that she would like hysterically laugh
They're
and like,
crying.
cry? Yeah, like do you think that was like
I think
both
the
like
was
the other
different.
girl coming out? That you think
Yeah.
that was the other girl
Yeah.
coming out?
Like something that Chris said would trigger her, and like she would try to come out and try to tell him to get out, probably the same way Andre did.
Mhm.
She's creepy though. So then they mentioned that Georgina and Walter were hired to take care of Dean's parents, but hates the way it looks because they're black and then they're a white family. Obviously, they don't look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do they hate the way it looks?
I know.
I was thinking like they hate that they're in black bodies now.
I was
That's
just
what
gonna
thought.
say that. Yeah, like they hate that.
Like it's like the same like person, but isn't a they did look at a black body now. I think that's what I was like. That's what I got from when they said they hate the way it looks.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next scene, they're all sitting with each other outside and they're drinking tea. And then Georgina is pouring tea for them. But I noticed that, well, you put it in the notes too. When Missy, the mom, she taps on the teacup, like you said, it was foreshadowing like her hypnotizing Chris later on. But I noticed like when she tapped it, Georgina was like, she was pouring the tea for Chris. And it almost was going to overflow. So I think that once like she hit it, like she was like set into this like trance, you know? So I think.
Definitely.
Or like it
Considering
snapped
what
her
happened
back.
later on.
What you saying, Nabi?
I said, or like it snapped her back, like oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because Missy was like, Georgina, maybe you should go get some rest or something like that. I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Jeremy comes up, I think.
Yeah.
Starts to have dinner. Yeah. So, Jeremy starts talking to Chris during dinner, like asking him mad questions about like his body and if he knows like how to fight. And he tries to fight Chris too. But I think they don't want to hurt him because they want to keep his body perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then they talk about how Chris smokes too. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a bad habit. Because they want to keep his body perfect.
Or as healthy as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, along with like later on, not to like skip or whatever, but like later on when they do like when they're doing like, what is it, like a family like meet and greet, whatever.
Oh,
And
the
it's
party?
like
Reunion.
the party. It's
The
like a modern day,
party.
like when they would like examine the slaves and see who was good
The
enough.
best.
Yeah, they want the strongest, the smartest, well, not the smartest. They don't want that one. They want the strongest, the ones that are like in best health to like, do the slave things. And it's like the same thing, but like it was kind of weird. Like even if it all ties back to when the song where like stay woke, like he's not even aware that they're asking him all these weird weird ass questions. Like, you're not asking me what am I planning to do, with your daughter or whatever. You're not asking me like what I want to do with my life. You're asking me about my body, and everything you say ties to me being black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and they ask him if he plays sports too.
Yeah, and then the woman, because like I guess her husband or something was wrong with her husband, or he was dying or something. So she was like, "Oh, is he good in bed?" Like asking Rose, because if she buys him, then that's gonna be her new husband. That's gonna be her new man. She's like, "Ooh, like you're cute like this."
Yeah, she was like, "Is it better?"
Mm-hmm.
Am I it? Oh my god. Poor him.
Yeah, like that whole party scene, auction scene, like it was so uncomforting.
Like when they all just stopped talking. Like as soon as he went upstairs, they just like all got quiet at the same time.
Man, uncomforting.
They're too good at it. Like the little microaggressions, that's just like your racism coming out. Like you suppress it so much, and then every once in a while it'll pop out in a microaggression.
It's like it's a generational thing, like, but then as like society changes where they like condemn certain things, and you teach your child like, okay, black people are bad, but like don't let them know that you think they're bad.
Right.
And then like now it's just generation, and they see nothing wrong with what they're doing. That still happens with our fellow peers. Poor them. They're poor souls.
I was wondering like why they would use the bingo slips though when they're auctioning off Chris. Is it because those people love bingo, or?
I think it was like like people when you go to an auction. I don't know. I've never been to one. But
they usually have numbers.
Because I think that would have looked weird if.
Obvious.
Well, I guess Chris wasn't there. I was gonna say it would look weird if they had numbers and Chris was like, "What the hell?" So maybe it was like less conspicuous.
Because
but they weren't at tables or anything. They're just sitting, and there's a picture of Chris up front, and they weren't even talking. They're like.
Well, I think they did it for like just in case, because they said they were like the nearest house was across the river, like across the lake. So I feel like they did bingo slips and they did it silently, so people wouldn't know they were like auctioning off a person. So like just in case somebody saw, they're like, oh, they're just playing bingo. Oh, somebody got bingo. It's like I feel that's what they used the slips for.
And the blind guy was playing bingo.
And this is my thing. And about the blind guy, like how he was like the only, because he's blind, so, but blind people can contribute to racism too, but like I'm not saying that
poor them.
I know. No, there's like
I don't even know
on YouTube. There's like a video on YouTube like watch that. It's like blind people can contribute. Like, blind.
You're blind.
It was a blind person. That was a blind person. Like the way that your voice sounds or something.
Oh no.
Did they say Helen Keller was racist?
Nah.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
what? Yo.
So, like, how, not that there can be, like, blind people are racist, but, like, if you're white blind, obviously you're gonna be, oh, da-da-da, but, like, a black blind might be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, like, little things. Like, not you personally, but how society sees you. So, but, like, how he was, like, the first person to, like, see Chris for not being black. Everyone was like, oh, he's black. And then the blind guy's like, oh, he's artistic. He's this. And then when he tells Chris, like, nothing personal, like, I just need your eyes or something, like, it just shows you how, like, even the white people who are like, oh, we have good intentions, like, nah, like, unless you're, like, fighting for us, no, you guys are also the problem.
And, like, he was saying how, like, he loves Chris's work. First of all, how does he see Chris's work?
Yo, I didn't even notice that.
He's like, oh, it's so good. You have a special eye.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think he said his assistant like describes it to him in great detail. It was like
Yeah.
even then, like you're never gonna get the full picture, but like
real?
via description.
It's crazy. I think, oh my, I just thought about this. Like, you can say that you see how other people live, but you're never gonna feel how they actually live. Like the blind guy, he can be put into Chris's body, but he's never gonna know how it feels to like be Chris. Like when like Chris takes those photos, like that's him like feeling it. Like he's like, oh, this is like he has like a vision in his head, but that's like, you know, like when the white guy becomes him, he's not gonna be able to have the same talent that Chris is gonna have.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like, unless he has a talent for himself.
Yeah, like it's not just something physical. Like it's something that you feel, like within yourself. You
I
know?
think he more just wants it like you have such great eyes. Like I don't think it's like even if I don't know if the blind guy wants to be a photographer, but I think he's just like, oh, you're a photographer. Like that means you have
That
such
means you
great
know,
eyes.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
want your eye. Like I just want your eyes.
He's literally, I don't see color as a person.
Yes.
My God.
For real.
Like you think you're doing, ooh, I don't see color, but like no, you're actually doing harm, a lot of harm.
I don't know if you guys
I
noticed,
hate that.
but like Chris's pictures were all in black and white.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of I couldn't think of what that means, so I didn't put it in the notes. But like it was something I noticed, like in his apartment, and like on his camera, all his pictures are black and white. So I feel like that means something. I just didn't know what it meant.
Black and white. I don't remember the photos off the top of my head, but I remember them being in black and white. But weren't there like pictures of like people's bodies, or was it
I think it was nature, like the woods.
nature?
Or I know he was taking pictures of like the woods at the party.
Get out. Photography.
While you look at that, Mel, I have a question. Why do you guys think that I saw in Jalen's notes? Like, why do you think they started to listen when he went upstairs? Like, why do you think they got silent and started to listen? You know what I'm talking about?
I think
think-
that's like, oh, sorry, Jalen.
Oh, go Julia.
Oh, okay. I just think them socializing is just a front for the party, but they're really all there to see Chris. So like if wherever he goes, they're gonna pay attention. But if he leaves, they don't have to put up the front anymore, and they can just observe.
Okay.
I think it's like, because later in the notes, I said it's like the Chris being at a party is like the feeling of like a black person or like a minority of when they go into like majority white person like function, and like you can just feel all the eyes are on you. I feel like that's what like that was, and like as soon as he left, they're like, oh, thank God he's gone. We can talk about what we really want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when like, even when it's like a teacher and they be like, have those weird microaggressions, they're like, oh, no offense to you, or like, oh, well, I don't really mean to be mean when I'm asking this, I'm just curious, and they like ask a completely tone deaf question or like a completely tone deaf topic. You're like, actually, I don't like. They're like, oh, like something about basketball, and you're like, I don't know anything about basketball. I don't. Are you coming from basketball practice? I play golf. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah, I
a lot of photos coming up. They show like two. One of them was like a street, and then another one has like a bird. I think that's a bird. A pigeon.
Yeah, I think he took like nature pictures now.
It's like he's like in the street. Yeah.
Maybe all those pictures represent being free. Maybe.
Mm.
Since they're all outside in nature, like a bird is like is not confined by being on the ground. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Something I don't know.
No, it makes sense. Like everyone says free as a bird and stuff like that. It's a term.
Mm-hmm. I can see what you're saying too. Then, yeah.
Well, he takes photos while he's at the house too.
Yeah, at the party. Like he leaves because he's like not uncomfortable, but like he's like overwhelmed. Well,
Yeah.
uncomfortable and overwhelmed.
Like he always has it on his neck as like a shield to protect him.
And he also always uses the camera to like to see what's going on. Almost like if it's his real eye, because like he uses the camera at the scene where like the grandpa's like running to try to beat Jesse Owens' time. And he uses the camera to see Regina staring into like the window and like checking out her reflection. Yeah, but like every time he like looks through the camera, like the real lens, like the real world, he always snaps away. So it's like I'm trying to figure out what that could mean.
Camera. Maybe the camera is symbolic.
It could
Like
mean
you said, it's his right.
seeing things from a different perspective. Maybe that's him being paranoid or staying woke while he's there.
Well, going back to like what was said about the real eye, you have to think about when he takes the picture. Was it of Lakeith? You know, I can't remember his character's name right now. I'm drawing up.
Andre.
Yeah, Andre. Yeah. When he takes the picture, he starts like he's out of that trance. Like that's a staple part of that scene. And that's when like they rush them out. Like it's his real eye. It gave him a glimpse of what's really going on.
Yeah, to go with Kanisha saying like it shows him like basically like the real like because like when Jalen was saying like he zoomed in on Regina, like he saw her fixing her wig to cover up her like scar from her lobotomy, and when he snapped Andre, like brought Andre out like get out, you know. So I think like it's like his real, like the real behind the real.
I see what you mean.
Why didn't the grandpa have a lobotomy scar?
He had a hat on.
Wore a hat.
Oh, he wore a hat. Okay, yes. And then Andre wore that little thingy.
Oh yeah, and the infamous running scene. Debbie was doing that for like a whole month.
I was doing it. I've seen it everywhere that whole time because that was probably hilarious.
That and the us walk.
Oh, I just found an article about the photography. This is like it's like an essay.
An essay.
Oh nah.
It's basically just saying like how the camera's used as a way to escape but also get closer at the same time. Because like Chris uses it to like get out of situations, but he also uses it to like to gather information about like strange things that he notices. So like it's just honestly, just like that.
Honestly, when you think about it, when you think about a memory, like you lose pieces of the memory, and for you to be able to pick apart what really happened, you're never gonna be able to do it like 100% because you're gonna lose that. But like you take a picture and you could pick it apart, see the different like layers, see the different, and you can constantly look back at it. So I feel like that's connected to that.
And I think Jordan Peele was maybe he was trying to put the message out like in today's days, like we have cameras accessible to us all the time. Cameras, whatever. And then when he took that picture, it could have saved Andre's life. For real.
Yeah.
Like us recording everything that happens like in today's age can save someone's life. Because without the evidence, then even like the killer is never gonna get caught or even charged. So I think he should put that out there too. And then his friend Rod was the one who found the article about him too, right?
Yeah, we found out that Andre was missing.
Yeah. So like if he never sent him that photo, then Chris would probably be stuck in that house still.
Yeah, because he would have never put the pieces together.
Yeah, he never had the pieces together. So it's technology. And then from there, Georgina keeps unplugging his phone so that he can't use the flash on it.
Oh, I think just so he can't contact anyone too.
Yeah.
Like to drain his bat, like make it die so that he can't use it to like cause help.
But then by the end of the movie, I thought his phone was dead, but then he was able to use the flash on the grandpa while he's fighting him.
I don't know if it was dead or not.
I thought it was dead, but I guess I'm not.
Maybe.
I knew it was on the table, like when he got up from the basement.
Oh.
Like the scene when he was like fighting the mom.
Mhm.
But I don't think it was dead because I think the last time we've seen it was on the charger.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought his phone was dead.
Mm-hmm. And then when he told Rose like she doesn't, I think she doesn't like me or something because like, because it's a thing or something, and she's like, what do you mean it's a thing? Because like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you notice how he had his phone on him, but he didn't call 911 once. Not at all. He didn't call 911 at all. He was trying to get out himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because what are they gonna say? I'm crazy white people are trying to like
exactly
cut my brain open.
They're trying to kill me.
Right. Yeah, but that when he said that to Georgina, because like it's like in the black community, like it's just like looked down upon. I think it's more for black women than men, but like it's looked down upon for like interracial because it's like you stick together, black love, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely more heavy on black women. Like, why would you abandon the community?
Do you think that the hypnosis scene is an example of why many black men are scared to open up about emotions? What do you think? I can't say for them. I'm not black or male.
Mm-hmm. I never thought about that until Jalen wrote it, until he put it in the the notes. But like now that I think about it, like yeah, like how she used it against him, and Jalen was like, so like they don't like to open up because they use it against him. I don't know if it was like, I think it could have been symbolic of that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think low key.
Because I was thinking of it like men in general, but like especially black men, they're always told like, oh, don't cry, that's only girls cry, and like they're always told like to hide their emotions. So like when they get older, like they keep everything bottled up, and then like and usually when the first time they open up, it's always like used against them. Where like they would like say something, it's like, and then once you and then like say like you get into a fight with that same person you opened up to, they'll use it against you, and then it makes you not want to open up even more. So I felt like it was like that because he was really hesitant like to open up. But then like I feel like once he like sensed like a gain of trust, he opened up, and then like it ultimately became his downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anything else you want to talk about that scene in particular, or anything?
I think it's interesting that they use like a teacup and a spoon as like the device of hypnosis. It's like a teacup and a spoon with like, when you think of that, you think of like stability, because like people or whatever. But I think like that represents like white people or the patriarchy, stability, or black Americans who live like discrete use of like laws and politics to oppress black people. Because like she used that to hypnotize him and send him to the sunken place where he's paralyzed and he can't move up. So white people will come up with these laws and stuff to make sure black people stay at the bottom and they can't come up through the social ladder.
Maybe even like, what do you think about like tea? Like I was saying, like, when they're like, oh, you want some tea? It's like, when they always talk about like Southern hospitality and stuff like that. It's like really a front. It's really a front for all that, because you're just looking to have those microaggressions throughout like the South and stuff like that, especially the South. You're still gonna have those microaggressions like wherever you go. It's never gonna be 100%. And then like that's just a front for it.
Speaking of that, I just found out Get Out was filmed in Alabama.
I didn't know that.
Like the Southern hospitality. So I wonder if it also takes place in Alabama because they never like actually say where the location
Yeah,
is.
they never specify.
So I wonder like if it's in where they like if they filmed it and it's supposed to be Alabama.
Maybe it was like like they didn't say where it was, like the location for like okay it's placed at a plantation near you.
Yeah, maybe it didn't have to be said.
It's like,
yeah,
it
I
can
think
happen
it was
anywhere.
better to be ambiguous because it's like white people anywhere can be.
Oh,
Because like even like when Rod shows up at the end, like there's no like airport name. It just says TSA. So I feel like it was left done on purpose. Whereas like it could literally be anywhere in the country.
Mm-hmm.
very true.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, you gonna finish your thought?
Yeah, so like how like it can be ambiguous because it's like white people anywhere can be like this could be a white person from anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is how all black people in America feel, no matter if you're from the north, the south, the east, the west, the middle. You know.
You always gotta give them that.
I just remembered something. So there was during that party scene, auction scene, whatever you want to call it, when they were all asking Chris like hella questions, and then I remember I was like, ew, this is one Asian guy there, and I was like, I'm so ashamed.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I was like, I feel like Jordan Peele is calling out the Asian community because there is a such thing as Asian privilege. We do have a privilege. It's not white privilege, but we do have a privilege. So I think that he's calling us out on that. Like, even if you're not white, you can be minority still and still have privilege. Like,
I didn't think of it that way.
Or even like you can be on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Like,
you're
you don't
not doing anything. Like, you're just watching, but you're still like not helping them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they talked. Who talked about this? Maybe it was. Oh, you know who it was? Okay, so it was Hassan Minaj. He has a show on Netflix called Patriot Act, and he made like a video, and he was basically talking about like Asians, like like basically like breaking it down. How like white people are using us, like the reason like they're the minority.
I don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah, is because like the U.S. did it on purpose. Like they only let like black people, they just brought the slaves. You know what I'm saying? Asians, they had to immigrate here, and then they only let them come if they were skilled. Like if like they only let doctors, lawyers, college grads, educated people come, unless you're a refugee. So he was basically like breaking down the history, and then he was like, we have to stop being on the sideline. This is from Hassan Minaj. It's on YouTube also. And he was like, we have to stop being on the sideline. And he's like the guy, George Floyd, the Asian guy on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like a perfect example of like we're not killing them, but we're watching them get killed, and we're not doing nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Problem.
Yeah. So like I think that now that you said that now.
Yeah, I just thought about it again. I was like, wait, I think that means something.
Oh, I didn't even think of it like that. Because like the way I thought of it was like he was putting in like a little history lesson. Because not a lot of people know, but Asian countries also had a part in the slave trade.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was like, could I watch it? I was like, I never like looked up like, why is he like, if it's an all white party, why is like there's an Asian guy there?
There's only one Asian guy.
Yeah, and then like I looked it up and I was like, oh, China was like they were heavy in like the slave trade. But then like I didn't know about that until I had to like research it myself. So it's another example of the flawed American school system.
It's a very well thought out and well written movie. There's a lot of
I know, there's so many.
There's so much.
There's a purpose for every little thing.
Oh my god, the tree.
No, straighter than she ruined the way I watch movies. For real. Straighter.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, look at that.
Red and blue, red and blue.
Look at the way the camera zooms in.
Oh, God. And the worst part is when we did that lesson, a group of us went to watch Us.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you we were picking it apart.
That's how me and I were too.
I was like, oh my god, I can't watch this movie anymore.
Yes, I was gonna tell. When she was like, "You guys think any other directors we should put?" Like, I think really Jordan Peele because like his movie's very.
He said that a lot of like the movie was inspired by because he likes horror movies. I read about like he said that there was some parts in there that referenced The Shining. So I was like, oh, Okay.
Oh yeah, it was the
room
airport
number.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
because in like when like I think it's the scene where he calls Rod after he just charges his phone.
Yeah.
Like in the background, he's like, flight 237, which is also like the most haunted room in the hotel in The Shining.
Oh my gosh.
Like these little things, like oh.
My mind is blown.
The Shining is good. She ruined that movie for me though.
Pause the movie.
Oh my god, for real. What else? I forgot what scene we left off on.
It was we were at like the party scene, but we jumped around.
Okay.
I think we're now at the part where he's in the basement.
In the basement? Okay.
Or no.
Oh,
It's just.
He found the pictures. Okay, yeah. I think that somebody left that door open for him. Either it was Georgina or
yeah.
I think it was Georgina. I think it was Georgina because there's still a piece of her in there, you know. Because why Rose would definitely not leave that open.
No, or no, maybe she left it open so he'd find it, and then you know what I'm saying.
You think there's a piece of her that's like I actually like him?
No, like so he'll find it, so then she'll be like, get ready, like they love the
chase.
The chase.
That is so true.
And she was watching him. Like she was standing there. You ready to go?
Yeah, she didn't address it or nothing. So I think maybe she left it open.
You think so?
I don't know, maybe.
She's crazy.
Or maybe it's like maybe Georgina did do it and they weren't expecting like her to do that because as far as they know, she's gone. She's gone as far as they know. And Chris was really not the deciding factor, but the changing factor in the dynamic of like Georgina and them. So it was different. Or this time Georgina would be one of the biggest assistants for him to essentially get out.
I don't even know what I would do if I was Chris and I saw all those pictures. Would you play it off like he did? Or would you be like, what the fuck is this?
Actually, I don't know.
Play it off, I think.
I would play it off. Mainly because like when you're already in an uncomfortable situation, you like just saying it puts you at like so much more like danger. Especially in his case. But they could have been like, you're dead.
I think if he was like, what is this? Then she'd be like, Mom, like that. And then,
Oh, yeah. With her monotone self.
I would have just been like, okay, like, oh, let me start the car. Let me warm it up.
Yeah, but she couldn't find the keys.
I know. That's why I've been like in the room, like, here, give me the keys right now. Like, let me warm it up right now. Like,
no, she was hiding the keys from him, though. He said, give me the keys. I can put the stuff in there. He did say that.
He's like, I can't.
Who's the keys?
She's like, I can't give it to you, babe. I was like,
oh my god, that was like the worst. Oh, yeah. Literally all I could say.
And then Jeremy goes, bonk.
Rose, the keys. The keys.
What were they saying to him like during this altercation?
I don't even know. Like,
Rose said that Chris is one of her favorites. That like she's captured.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you hear that, Chris? You're one of her favorites." And I was like, "Wow." I was like,
and then he's like,
I feel like shit.
Whoa. I would just ran. I don't care about the keys. Run.
Yeah.
They're old. Look at them. The brother's the only one that probably could catch him, so I'd run.
No, the grandpa. Remember at the end?
Oh yeah.
Right.
He's like, get him, grandpa.
Because like the whole time the grandpa was running, he was trying to beat Jesse Owens' time from when he got beat.
Yeah.
And I was watching a video like in a Vanity Fair when like Jordan Peele was like looking up fan theories. Like he said he almost had a scene like when he catches Chris, he was like, "Oh, he's gonna have the grandpa say like, oh, I finally beat you, Jesse," but he was like, "Oh, he said that was gonna be too corny."
Too obvious.
I would have been also corny because it's like that's not even Jesse.
Yeah.
I beat you, Jesse. Where are we now?
When he's in the basement.
And
We
he's
talked about that earlier though. So.
and he's picking the
Cotton.
Yes.
picking the cotton to save his life.
Oh, wow. I feel like that speaks for itself.
I know, yeah, we don't.
Well, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Oh. The
And
word
then-
cotton just puts a hole in my stomach.
Oh no.
I kid.
Just like the last 20 minutes of the whole movie is just crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then he unbuckles himself, right?
No, Jeremy comes in and gets him ready.
Oh, yeah, and he pretends to be knocked out.
I don't know how he wasn't knocked out after 2 hits to the head. Like,
For
He was,
real.
like, and in a pool, like he was like in a pool of blood. I was like, "You're awake."
That he was dead. But then I don't know if you guys seen Parasite, but I was like, oh, that happened to Parasite too. So
I feel like towards the like you said, the last 20 minutes, it loses a lot of the symbolism because now it's like the climax.
Yeah.
a horror movie at that point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
at that moment it's just like, oh my god.
After like the cotton, and then he looks at the deer because now the deer is watching him struggle.
Yeah.
I think my favorite scene are like just the creepiest scenes, like that's what the fuck, is when Rose is in her room eating the cereal separate.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was thinking about that the whole time I was waiting for us to get there.
Drinking milk with her straw. What is that supposed to mean? Something or just?
They
Yeah,
said-
because like
said-
separation from the milk and then the cereal because it's like color.
Oh god.
Yeah,
It's
I
to
read it.
separate
I
the
was
colors
like,
and the whites.
yeah, I read into that. So like that has to mean something. But Jordan Peele said that he decided to do that like last minute, like a few days before the shoot.
Yeah, he said it was just supposed to be because she's crazy, like to show how
Crazy.
psycho she is.
Yeah, because like you
Seriously?
can see
Weird.
how like she changes her look, like just like that. Like,
Like the moment, the moment she puts her hair in a ponytail.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
her outfit is
White. It's just all
Yeah.
white.
all white, and then she has the pictures of like all of her past boyfriends framed behind her. She's on her
Her
laptop,
girlfriend.
And all this shit going on.
like
Mhm.
Oblivious.
Yeah, but a lot of fans are like, "Oh, the color separate the colors and the
Yeah,
white." But Jordan said it was he said he likes that idea, but he
yeah,
said it was just meant to show how psycho she is.
how crazy she is. She
And
actually-
like on her laptop, wasn't she looking up like prominent black
Oh yeah, top NCAA
Yes.
prospects.
NCAA? Yeah.
That's how they be. Can't.
and then when she was talking to Rod over the phone with the
Oh, I
straight
hated
face,
that scene. It freaked me
did
out.
she do that?
You know, so good.
Good.
So good acting.
Honestly.
That's my favorite. I like that scene too. And he's like, "I got you, crazy bitch."
No, Rod was definitely like my favorite part of the movie because like he
Yeah.
represents the audience throughout the entire movie, and then like that whole scene, and like he puts her on hold. He's like, "Cause bitch is a genius," and I was like,
I know. She's like, "I know you want me." I was like,
Ew.
and her family's watching her.
like that was the crazy. Like her parents just like looking at her, just like talking like that. I was like, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Well,
She's
because
scary.
they wanted her to get the next one.
Rod was comic relief, but at the same time, his paranoia proved like it seemed like he was being extreme, saying that it was like sex trafficking or whatever, but it ended up saving Chris's life in the end. So like
Yeah.
paranoia can be the thing that saves your life.
I feel
It
like
looks-
it's like
Rod is
know
supposed
when-
to be like the audience.
yeah. And you know when people are on like Twitter and then, like it's like a random like topic and then somebody's in the mentions like this is when slavery and everyone's like, dude, relax. It's like that. I mean, it
Yeah.
ended up saving him, but like it's like
Mm-hmm. You think it could be like also to show like because like no one believed him, so it's like people don't believe black people when racism happens unless it's recorded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you think that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Cause like the person he went to report it, it was a black detective. He went to report
Yeah.
it, and she didn't believe him.
It's almost like I don't think that kind of thing happens these days. Like racism isn't a thing anymore, almost.
Or maybe he's like a visionary and he was like a cab and even the black people gotta go.
Motherfucking
Even the
TSA.
black people gotta go, you know?
What else happened? Yeah,
And
she's
then
just crazy.
And then they burned their house down.
Period. Burn it down. Oops.
Oh, when the grandpa he flashes Walter,
Yeah.
and then he shoots Rose,
Oh yeah.
and then like he goes when Chris is choking out Rose, and then like she's enjoying, like she looks over to like the right and she's like enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like I thought of like, oh, she's crazy, but then I thought about the alternate ending, whereas like instead of Rod shows up, the police show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is she doing that because she knows, like, oh, if it's she thinks it's the police, and she knows, oh, they're gonna believe me, I'm a white woman, and a black man's choking me out. They're gonna believe whatever I say.
If they had that alternate ending in the movie theater, oh my god.
Oh, pissed me off.
We all thought it was, well, when we watched it, we all thought that.
Yeah, we thought it was the cops.
The whole theater was like, no. Like,
Rose was already like, help.
oh, and then the part when he got Georgina, because he didn't want to leave her, even though she was the grandma.
Because he's thinking about his mom. Like, he had flashbacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it was more his mom, like, because hit and run, or do you think Jordan Peele was trying to show, like, hey, black man, like, you guys gotta support black women?
Oh.
That's the way I thought about it. It's like, you
Like,
can't,
don't
like,
leave
even,
them.
yeah, like, even though they did wrong, you can't leave them behind, like, in order to progress. That's why I thought of it.
Yeah, because, like, I did a whole paper, like, it's not, like, even women not women, I did, like, a paper in African-American class, how, like, black women are, like, always, left behind, like,
Right.
Black Lives Matter started by black women, but it's all about black men. Me Too started by black women, all about white women. You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't leave them, bring them with you. You know what I'm saying?
Period. Full stop. Or when Chris stabs Dean with the deer too in the basement.
Oh, the irony of him getting killed by a deer.
Yeah.
Like how he was like the deer are infestations or whatever, but how like a black person killed him and a deer and he hates black people and deer.
Bitch.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah, and then movie.
Oh, Rose is left. Oh, and Rose is left to die at the side of the road.
Period.
I didn't realize it till like when I rewatched it. It's like the parallelism, or like the parallels of like the beginning scene and like the ending scene with Chris and Rose. Of how Chris has no emotional response to leaving her dead behind. Like she had no response to the deer, and like how the deer like pretty much a metaphor for black people in America.
Right.
And then now she's there moaning by herself.
She's actually she played that role too well.
But Jalen, you know how you wrote at the end, like, do you think he played the same character in Get Out, Black Panther, and Queen Slim?
Oh yeah, I have a whole theory about that. Okay.
Do you mean like
thought about
the
that.
symbolism is the same, or that he's actually the same person?
No, like the same person. Like I was thinking about, like, yo, if this low key could work. I was like, at the end of Get Out, we don't know what happens with him and Rod once he leaves. So I think like at the end of Get Out, Chris is like,
Wakanda?
okay, yeah, like I'm tired of these white people. I'm going to Wakanda and going back to my roots. Like he goes to Wakanda, but then like in Black Panther, he ends up starting a civil war, so he gets kicked out. But I feel like, because like in Black Panther, they got rid of brainwashing, all the technology. So I feel like they got rid of the sunken place in him, and he feel like, okay, I can finally go back to America and start a normal life and start over. And then the moment he starts over, he's like, okay, I'm done with the white people. I'm gonna get a black woman. Starts over, gets a black woman, and then he ends up having to deal with the same stuff all over again. I was like, low key, he could be the same character in all three of these movies. And then you could even low key connect it to the episode he was in Black Mirror.
That's crazy. It's the same person.
I don't know if you meant like same person symbol or same person, but yeah. That's
that was a funny joke I had. I was like, that's like a whole theory. I was like, if you think about it, he low key could be playing the same. He low key could be playing the same character in all three of these movies.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But I think that's it. We went through all 50.
Yeah.
Woo!
Is there anything else that we missed? You guys want to talk about? Or like?
I think we got everything.
Just support black directors and black stories in cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Netflix, they have this whole even for kids Netflix, they have it. Just like black movies and shows. Yeah,
It's the forefront now.
Yeah, because I was like putting Netflix on for my little brother, and then
it had the
it came up. I was like, okay, Netflix.
period.
Even
It'd be okay, Nickelodeon.
Even Disney did a little something.
Oh yeah.
They should, because they know all the good Disney had black people on it.
For
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Ben & Jerry's finally came out with the ice cream flavor.
Oh, they did? They came out with an actual flavor?
Yeah, I found it on Twitter.
It's like Justice and Power or something like that.
Yeah.
Justice remixed.
Yeah, Justice remix.
What is it? Hopefully it's chocolate.
It's like
That's what it looks like.
cinnamon.
Chocolate is disgusting though, so I'm not really.
It's cinnamon chocolate ice cream with gobs of cinnamon bun dough and spicy fudge brownies.
That kind of sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know about the spicy fudge brownies, but like the cinnamon like buns, that sounds good.
Oh, cinnamon buns? Okay,
Yeah.
cinnamon buns sounds good, but cinnamon chocolate ice cream sounds horrible.
That sounds disgusting. Actually.
That sounds like...
If it was just chocolate with like swirls of cinnamon and then like cinnamon
I
buns
don't
in it.
even like cinnamon like that though.
Oh, they
don't even like
drop.
chocolate
Did they
ice
drop
cream.
another one?
They have two.
Or is this old? I'm gonna see what this article was written, because this might be old.
So this is what it looks like. It looks like
Oh yeah, this is from 2016. Never mind.
what it looks like.
Oh, it looks okay.
Where are they selling it?
Probably all sold out by now.
True.
I still like Peachful Protest better.
Peaceful protest.
What was it? Defudge the police was another one we said.
Yeah.
Fudge, yeah.
You know, Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah,
if you're watching, let's get this
You said Ben-
sponsor the podcast.
Oh my god, sponsor us, yes.
Oh my gosh, but I need the dairy free one.
Yeah, like we don't want money. Just send us Ben and Jerry's. We'll all be
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah, go buy Ben and Jerry's.
They're pretty old too. I've seen a picture of them. They look old. Nisha already left. I guess that's the end of our episode, guys.
Thanks guys for watching.
Okay.
See you next time.
Comment down below what else you want us to talk about.
all black lives matter.
Period. Full stop.
Okay. So Mel starts it off. She introduces herself. Then it's her, Jalen, Kanisha, me, Nayab.
Oh, and on my screen, you're in front of Kanisha.
Yeah.
Don't confuse me, please.
It's okay, do the thing. Yeah, do the third. Like you should go third.
All right.
So Mel, Jalen, Kanisha, me, Nayab. And then I'm like, how y'all doing? You're gonna be back on campus next semester? And we'll just go with that. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And then Mel will start. And then Jane will say the
Jalen
summary.
will say the summary. Okay.
And then we'll just talk from there.
Oh, wait, did you like the movie? Da da da. Okay. Because we can't just be like, okay, Get Out is about, you know? I don't know. We'll just go
I
with it.
think we can.
Just go with it. Go, Mel, go.
Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Generation of Change. I'm Melanie.
I'm Jalen.
I'm Kanisha.
I'm Julia.
I'm Nayab.
So Julia, you gonna go? Sorry.
Let me start over.
You want to start over?
Okay. Take two. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Generation of Change. I'm Melanie.
I'm Jalen.
I'm Kenesha.
I'm Julia.
I'm Nayab.
Oh shit.
Julia, okay, I'll say it. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I'm putting this at the end of the video.
I'm gonna say it. Go.
Okay, ready? Take three. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Generation of Change. I'm Melanie.
Oh. No, I just realized we're not in. Oh, never mind. I messed it up. All right, never mind. We were right the first time. That's my bad.
It's okay.
At the beginning, could you do a thing like stick around to the end for bloopers? Because, you know, these episodes are long and maybe people don't want to watch the whole thing. We have bloopers at the end, you know?
Okay. Are you ready?